Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a proxy statement from United States Antimony Corporation. Get ready for a wild ride, because trust me, there's more excitement here than watching paint dry, maybe. This document outlines everything shareholders need to know before they vote at the annual meeting. We're talking director elections, a potential move to Texas, and a peek into how the company is run and paid for. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below for you to discuss your opinion and findings. So this is an invitation to the annual meeting scheduled for July of 2025. Shareholders get to weigh in on some big decisions that could shape the company's future. First on the agenda is electing 5 directors for a 1-year term. These are the folks who will be steering the ship, so it's kind of a big deal. Shareholders will also vote on things like reincorporating from Montana to Texas. Why Texas? We'll get into that. They also will be voting to approve an amended version of their equity incentive plan and an advisory vote on executive compensation. Finally, shareholders will vote to ratify the appointment of their accounting firm. Let's meet the nominees for the board. We have Gary C. Evans, the chairman and CEO. He's been with the company since late 2022 and has a background in energy and green Bitcoin mining. Then there's Lloyd Joseph Bardswich, the chief mining engineer and another director with tons of experience in mining. Dr. Blaise Agura, a Harvard Medical School psychiatrist who sits on the board of various privately held companies. Next is Joseph A. Carrabba, a retired chairman from Cliffs Natural Resources. Finally, Michael A. McManus, who has previous experience as a CEO in government and as a lawyer. It's important to note who's considered independent. Independence is key, meaning they don't have relationships that could cloud their judgment. For this company, Dr. Agura, Joseph Carrabba, and Michael McManus are deemed independent. Now, let's talk about the money side for directors. Last year, Dr. Agura made $262,001 dough, Joseph Carrabba around $176,497, and Michael McManus around $268,000. Moving on, we have the named executive officers, or NEOs. These are the top dogs whose compensation gets extra scrutiny. This includes Gary C. Evans, Lloyd Joseph Bardswich, Richard Reisig, and John C. Gustafson. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Let's break down what these executives made last year. Gary C. Evans, as chairman and CEO, had a total compensation around $658,742. Lloyd Joseph Bardswich, director and EVP, came in at about $391,000. Actually, John C. Gustafson, president of Antimony division, made around $422,491. Lastly, John C. Gustafson, president of Antimony division, made around $420 and $48,643. It's worth 90 that a significant $9, $391,842 D2000. 400 Antimony division made around 422, 8,400 awards and other compensation, and from bonus stock and option awards and other compensation. The company does have an insider trading policy and has clawback provisions if executives misbehave, which is good. Time for the pay versus performance part. This section compares executive pay with how the company actually did, and this is interesting. Total shareholder return in 2024 was $340 in firsty at the end of the year, and the company lost over $6.3 million. In 2023, $100 invested at the beginning of the period, but the company had a net loss of about $1.7 million. In 2022, your $100 investment would only be a small net income of about 420 cents. At the end of 103 cents that the company had a net loss of about $1.7 million. In 2023, $100 would be worth about $94.23, but the company had a small net income of about 420 cents, and the company had a small net income of about $428,000. Digging deeper, there weren't any major related party transactions listed, meaning no apparent conflicts of interest between the company and its executives or major shareholders. Now on to Proposal 2, the plan to reincorporate from Montana to Texas. According to the filing, Texas offers a more favorable legal environment. Texas has a business court. Its corporate headquarters is located in Texas. And because of those two things, the company thinks it is in their best interest to move. Seems like the company wants to be where they feel the law is more predictable and aligns with their business. It's also very important that a lot of big American corporations are moving to Texas, according to the filing, which makes it seem more attractive to them. It is worth noting that a lot of big American corporations are moving to Texas according to the filing, which makes it seem more attractive to them. It is worth noting that the board says that it isn't moving to prevent any hostile takeovers. There's a whole section dedicated to the legal differences between Montana and Texas. We don't have the time to dive into all of this, but it ranges from the number of directors to shareholder voting rights. The board can currently change any bylaw, however, the Texas one specifies certain sections that can only be altered by a 66 2/3 vote of the voting power. Finally, let's glance at Proposal 3 dealing with their equity incentive plan. This is about how much stock they can use for employee compensation. The filing says they're asking to increase the available shares by approximately 15 million, bringing the total to 23.7 million. The last thing mentioned is the accounting firm has a lot of fees. Audit fees were around $175,000, tax fees at $19,075, and other fees around $10,400. So, what's the takeaway? United States Antimony Corporation is clearly trying to position itself for growth and stability. The move to Texas, if approved, signals a desire for a more predictable legal environment. Their executive compensation, while high, comes with some guardrails, like clawback provisions, but there's a very important piece to this puzzle. Their total shareholder return last year was very high, but their net income was negative. Ultimately, this company seems to be at a crossroads, but it does seem like the company has a clearly stated plan to get to profitability. Keep an eye on those metrics. Alright, that's our breakdown of United States Antimony Corporation's proxy statement. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.